Okay. Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy. Just going to do kind of a quickie on something that I think a lot of people might have been wondering about, but if you're a knife guy you might be afraid to ask, or a knife person. Can't say the guy's a knife guys now because I understand there are quite a few female knife enthusiasts. It's one of these things which, if you're a knife person, you're kind of afraid to ask, or you just have some preconceptions. And this is the Wal Mart $9.97 special Ozark Trail Multi-tool Knife. I actually was in Walmart looking around, and the silly season is coming around, and I was thinking about doing some present buying. I'm not going to do any big present buying this year. I'm just kind of looking for like useful stocking stuffers. And I was filtering through the sporting goods section at Walmart. These aren't up there with the $4.97 Ozark Trail knives. These are back with the camping gear. And I saw this, and for 10 bucks I decided, why not? As a matter of fact, I even took the chance and bought two in case they were decent. And I will, spoiler alert, probably go out and buy a couple of more of these just for stocking stuffers at Christmas. First impression is, for 10 bucks they are a decent knife. The materials are decent. It's mystery steel, probably some sort of 440 stainless. It's a G10 like plastic. It's not, I don't think it's going to be as good as G10, but it's not crappy toy grade plastic. This will take a bit of punishment. You don't have to worry about that too much. Good feel in the hand, which was surprising for a knife like this. Blade centering is good. Lockup is good. Yes, I'm beating one knife with another knife. And so, just as a knife that most people can carry around to open packages, you know, cut knots out of shoestrings, all the day-to-day knifey stuff that you use pocket knives for, this would be perfectly adequate. And especially if you have a non-knife person in your life who keeps saying, you know, I should carry a knife. And this is the guy that's always borrowing your knife people out there. You know the guy. Well, you don't need to carry a knife every day. Can I borrow your knife? So yeah, put this in the stocking for Christmas. And then when he says, can I borrow your knife? And you can say, where's the knife I bought you for Christmas? And if he doesn't have it, it'll make him feel bad, and it'll shame him into carrying his knife. Now, but for the other multi-tool functions, this is where this thing is kind of frustrating. It comes with a little flashlight. I have not yet gone out and got the batteries for this yet. No batteries come with them. It's little watch batteries. But I question the utility of this knife. There's a little magnet in the back that holds this in place, and it seems to stay in place pretty well. But it's one of those flashlights that you have to twist to use. Now, the problem with that is, this is something that you're going to be using in the field. You're not going to be sitting here in front of a camera popping this out in ideal conditions when it's not dark, raining, cold, and twisting this, and I suppose putting it back in the housing so you could use it. As I said, it's dark, it's raining, you're shivering, and you're supposed to get this thing out and twist it and get it back in the hole to use the light. You know, and if it's just one of these things where you're just going to use it to get your keys out or something like that, have a keychain light, and you're not trying to get this knife out of your pocket, and you cannot turn this flashlight and turn it on with your thumb while it's in the housing. It doesn't work. So that's questionable. It does have a bottle opener. I haven't tried it, but there's no reason a bottle opener won't work. It has a glass breaker, which I'm not going to, I don't have any cars that I'm willing to break the windshield on, but it seems like it should work in theory, and as a last-ditch effort, it can discourage an attacker. The strap cutter, I haven't tested them. And I generally don't, because I'm not going to cut the seat belts out of my car to find out. But I find the notion of having a strap cutter in there kind of silly when it's on the end of a knife that should be kept sharp. Keep your knife sharp, you can cut your straps, okay? So I question the utility of those in any knife, no matter what they are. And then it also has a little fire steel housed right here in the butt. Now, when I tried this, I had a heck of a time getting it sparked. It pretty much will not spark. It'll probably spark. It's not what I'm doing for the camera. On the spine of the butt, the spine will not work. But there is this little teeny tiny choil right here that if you get it in there, see if I can get it to spark for you today. Where is that choil? No, it's not going to spark at all. There it is. Did that come up, get on camera? Okay. You can get a spark out of it, but you pretty much got to use either serrations, which is no good, or this little teeny tiny choil. And again, this was in a camping session, folks, so I mean, I have to assume that if you're down to this to start your fire, something awful has happened. You've been out for a day hike, and this is the only knife you had. Why would you do that? But this is the only knife you had. You didn't have a lighter. You don't have any matches. You got to get a fire started because you're lost. It's gonna rain, and it's an hour before dark. And this is all you have. Does it throw a spark? Could you conceivably get a fire with it? Yes. But again, look at the situation. Chances are, if you're down to using this, the situation is not ideal. You've got to get this out of the housing when you're cold, when your hands are shaking, either from the cold or just because you realize you are in a really, really bad situation and the adrenaline's pumping. Maybe you haven't eaten and you're getting the sugar shakes because your sugar is low, and you're trying to get this little thing to start a fire. Holding on to this in ideal conditions and getting enough pressure on it is tough. If you have weak hands, it's going to be impossible. And under all those conditions, raining, dark, cold, man, would it be tough. I mean, you could probably do it. They would have been much smarter to make the handle longer, to make this run the entire length of this, maybe to put the flashlight somewhere else or on top or something. Or instead of having the seatbelt cutter, just extend the spine out and extend the fire steel so it's longer, so you'd have something to grab onto. Again, it's something that could work, but man, it would be really, really hard. So the idea of having all this stuff on a knife is cool. And just as the knife goes, this, but and I have to get interrupted by this thing. It's got steel liners on both sides, which on these cheaper knives you got to watch for, because a lot of times they only have a liner on one side. I showed you it has a good lockup. As a knife, it's adequate, and the flashlight and the fire steel would work, but man, it would be difficult to make them work, especially the fire steel. I'm ambivalent about these things. I really don't care if a knife has one or not, but I suppose it could be useful for some things. The seatbelt cutter, again, I've never used them. I don't see, if you keep your knife sharp, I don't see the need for them. And in this case, a longer fire steel would have made more sense. But adequate. I mean, I'm going to buy a few of these. Now this one, these two are probably going to go into a couple of my smaller get me home bags, or what people call bug out bags, whatever you want to call them, the emergency kits. Because they're a decent knife, and for like a get home bag or something like that, you might actually find the light useful. I always have a flashlight or two. I always have one flashlight with me in my EDC stuff, and I keep flashlights, a couple of flashlights in my car, one in my go bags. But I mean, maybe if you're with somebody else, you could be able to get this thing out and twist it and work. You know. Right? So they're not useless, and the little things in there could be useful, but they would be very, very difficult to make work. So for $10, yeah, I mean, I'm going to buy a few more of these and give them away as stocking stuffers, just for non-knife people who might find a bottle opener handy, and just want to have a knife that, you know, they're not worried about losing. And, you know, I can afford these. They get non-knife people to at least carry a knife. You know, like the evangelist of the knife. I'll be an evangelist of the knife, of the EDC knife. Everybody should carry a knife, some kind of knife, even if it's a little Victorinox. All right, so yeah, for $10, grab them at Walmart. It can't hurt anything. They're not Benchmade. They're not Cold Steel. They're not CRKT. They're not even Gerber. But for most people, the knife will work. And having the other add-ons, if they don't carry anything else, if they're not an EDC person, you know, if you can get them to carry one of these, then at least they'll have something. And that's what I call these for. These are a nice gift for non-knife people that keep telling you that they should carry a knife. And I have a lot of those. I have a lot of acquaintances where I'm doing something like an acquaintance of mine, kind of sort of family, but not, I don't know what you would call him. But anyway, a young man that I am acquainted with this summer, for instance, wanted to borrow our lawnmower because there one on the fritz, and we had to tie it in the trunk because we didn't have any other way of getting it to his place. And we were tying it with twine and everything like that, and he needed to cut the twine. So I whipped out my knife and I cut the twine. And he said, I should start carrying a knife. Right? And I asked him, why don't you carry your knife? And he said, I don't need to carry a knife. You see? That's what this is for. And that's basically it. I have another knife to show you. Hopefully in the next couple of days we'll actually go out to the war post and test this one. But I wanted to get this done because, you know, the silly season is coming up. And if you have a non-knife person, or you just have somebody that's like a prepper or something like that, that understands the necessity of having a knife, but that's not really a knife collector or a knife person. You know, a couple of these for him to put in his glove box, to put in a go pack, or just to have around, might be greatly appreciated, and, you know, might come in really handy. So that's it for today. I bid you, excuse me, that's it for the day. I'll learn to speak. That's it for the day. Just something really quick. And I bid you to remember to draw your knives only in just purpose, and to sheathe them only with honor. And to remember that without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, subscribe. What do you think about and leave me some comments. What do you think about this? Would you think that the $9 for all of this, you might be able to spend $20 or $30 and get them a better knife, or something better to throw in your glove box or your go pack, or just buy a bunch of these and have your good knives that you carry all the time, and this is just something extra, kind of a just in case. Can you really have too many knives? No, I say, you cannot have too many knives. Anyway, also, I've hit 65 subscribers, and to me that's huge. So, I said before that I want to do a giveaway when I hit 100. I'm not made of money, so this is probably going to be, maybe, it depends on how the finances work out, but it'll probably wind up being something either under $100 or even under $50. I'm going to try to go for under 100. So, when I get to 100, I will do 100 subscribers. I'm going to do some kind of a giveaway. Give me some suggestions in the comments. What should I give away? And give me a suggestion for under 100, and give me a suggestion for under 150, in case the finances don't allow $100. With that, I bid you adieu. Adieu. I should not have made a video today. I should have waited until I am not stupid. I could have been waiting a long time. But please like, share, subscribe. I thank you so much for the people who have already subscribed. And leave me those comments about a possible giveaway. And I bid you goodbye.